Well, it is Wednesday, the 26th day of April 2023. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch and Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess, Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. You can also catch us live. We are streaming live on our social media platforms on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook at Hope TV Kenya. Let's take a look at the day's events. Now, the government has declared a 30-day dusk to dawn curfew in the Chakama Ranch in SHAKAHOLA, Kilifi County area, meaning that public gatherings will not be allowed in and out of the ranch, which neighbors controversial Pastor Paul Mackenzie's cultic activities area. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki also declared the area a scene of crime and access has been denied to the public starting today until the orders are vacated. Rescue efforts continue as security personnel comb through the SHAKAHOLA forest for any survivors. This even as the death toll of SHAKAHOLA massacre is now at 95 after bodies of 5 children were today exhumed near cult leader Paul Mackenzie's home in SHAKAHOLA forest. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has said the government has identified political leaders who have been leading and financing cattle rustling and criminal activities in the country. Speaking before the Senate, Kindiki said one leader had already appeared in court to be heard and assist the government in the investigations. Kindiki said the government has sufficient evidence that politicians and criminal operating raids will soon be arrested and brought to justice. Kindiki also explained that all residents displaced by the crackdown on bandits will be adequately facilitated by the government. The Interior Cabinet Secretary added that areas that were being used as hideouts by bandits have been cleared and dominated by security forces.
I can confidently assure the people of Kenya, we have in our radar a number of politicians of different cadres whose activities have been linked to the support, funding, and encouragement of banditry. We have crucial evidence, some of which was collected at the scene of crime at the attack in Kainuk early in the year, which incriminates political leaders and other people. I want to assure the House that very soon we will have high-profile arraignment of the command of bandits, whether they are civilian commanders, politicians, etc. And we want to build a case that will succeed in court.
Chaotic scenes were witnessed at the Jubilee headquarters in Nairobi between Kanini Kega and Jeremiah Kioni supporters who have clashed over the party's leadership. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta, while appearing at the party offices, asked the government to respect the party, urging police to desist from being misused. The former president called for peace, reiterating the legitimacy of Jeremiah Kioni as the party's Secretary General. Speaking to the media earlier, Eldas Member of Parliament Aidan Kainan condemned the violence between the two supporters and urged the politicians to respect the party's residents and follow the rules. Azimio leadership has condemned the incident.
And everybody who wants to leave a party is free to leave a party and go to another party. Yes. Ama ni namna gani mzao? Yeah. Na mimi nawashukuru kwa kulinda chama yenu. Na sisi hatuna vita na mtu. Tunalinda sisi chama yetu. Na wale ambao hawataki waende kule, wanataka kwenda kwa amani. Hakuna haja ya kusumbua watu wale wengine. Tuwe na amani jamani. Polisi wako na shughuli nyingi, sio kuja hapa kujaribu kusumbua watu. Watu wanakufa Kilifi. Alafu mko hapa kunyang'anya watu chama yao. Unawanyang'anya kwa nini?
There is no way those of us who are still alive will walk away from it. We will fight for this space until the end.
We will do whatever is within our powers to ensure that they stay safe and from any hostile takeover. I want to urge the police to show their independence. Kome and Bungei, this is your chance to show that police are independent. If you are not aware of the court order, today you are. Keep law and order not only on these premises, but stop allowing hooligans to come and disturb the peace of the neighborhood. This is a residential estate where people are living.
We will never tire from calling a spade a spade. And we want to tell Kenya, Kwisha, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. So that we can then move on to the next level. If indeed you're serious, some of us suspected they were never serious in the first place.
As we speak, civil servants in the national government have not been paid. As we speak, workers of county governments in the Republic of Kenya have not been paid. And what we are seeing here are just sideshows. So we're inviting you to come and march with us. Our march is a march in defense of multi-party democracy, march in defense of devolution, and the march against tribalism.
The Kenya Film Classification Board, KFCB, has urged Kenyans to exercise caution in the dissemination of content via social media. The regulatory board has noted with concern the distribution of graphic or disturbing content on social media, making reference to a video of a woman alleged to have murdered her child in Kitengela. KFCB now says that appropriate action shall be undertaken against those found culpable of disseminating explicit, graphic, or disturbing content in coordination with the relevant government agencies and the platform operators.
In the recent past, this vice has not only become rampant, but has also taken a disconcerting turn with some bloggers and social media users sharing extremely offensive video content with the potential to cause harm. A case in point is the recent streaming of graphic content of a mother and taking the life of an innocent child in Kitengela. At the same time, some social media users are increasingly misusing digital applications to host and stream live video sessions of explicit content in blatant breach of the laws of the land. Indeed, some applications are being transformed into digital brothels for midnight onwards. Equally worrying is the non-consensual dissemination of intimate images or videos of individuals in violation of the country's privacy laws. All these activities are happening at a time when children who are heavy users of the internet and social media are at home for the April holidays. As a society, we need to step back for a moment and reflect on the following. One, are we losing our values that define us as a people? Put differently, have we lost our African philosophy of Ubunduism, which is loosely defined as I am because you are? Secondly, are we really looking out for the interest of the child as we interact with technology? Or are we turning the internet, which is one of the most transformative innovations of our time, into the Wild West? In addition, are we harnessing the true value of social media in general and film in particular?
And the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has issued strike notices to all 47 counties over issues they raised with the government. Speaking at a media briefing, KMPDU Secretary General Davji Atela urged all county governments that have not paid their health workers their March and April salaries to ensure that they have paid the workers by March 5th next month. In addition, the Alliance of African Doctors has called on East African Community member states to develop regional strategies that will promote the employment of health workers and ensure improved salaries.
Shows just how bad the situation is and the need for member states of East Africa and across the length and breadth of the African continent to invest in health, and particularly so in health employment and the improvement of the working conditions of health workers. Because we notice that on one hand, you have shortage of health workers. We don't have enough health workers in the healthcare facility. There's no way universal health coverage can be achieved without adequate funding of health by governments. Privatization is not a solution. Privatization only enriches for-profit corporations against making resources available for the provision of health for all in our country.
And Kenya has, again, almost the highest number of unemployed healthcare workers across the East Africa. So this is a rallying call that if we talk about universal healthcare, then it must go hand in hand with funding. And that's one of the deliberations that came in. We're also saying that this is not only for Kenya, it's also for East African community, that the person that we send in the East African community must discuss the healthcare of the people of those particular countries. And there's no way that it can better be discussed by looking at that the healthcare workers, there's budget to it, and there's a compliance to the AU declarations in 2001. We've also spoke clearly, and it is something that Baba has put up, that privatization is coming as a big thing in Africa and East African countries.
Well, on that note, let us take a short commercial break. We will be back with plenty more.
The presiding bishop, together with the entire leadership of Christ is the Answer Ministries, have the pleasure of inviting you to the Family Discipleship Conference 2023, themed The Choice, drawn from Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. We kick off the conference on Wednesday, the 3rd of May at 5:30 p.m. and Thursday, the 4th of May through to Saturday, the 6th of May at 9 a.m., with the climax zoomed in on our millennials and zennials on Saturday. Guest speakers will be Bishop Callisto Odede, the presiding bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Pastors Kingsley and Mildred Okonkwo, Dr. Wahome Ngare, and Dr. Stanley Mukolwe, among others. Guest artists will be Essence of Worship, Evelyn Wanjiro, Kestin Bogo, and Eric Smith. Register now for free at fdc.citam.org. for a time to be equipped with biblical principles that make for thriving and well-informed life choices. See you there.
A very warm welcome back. Now, a family in Kiria Sub-County, sublocation in Mbeere North Sub-County, Embu, is crying for justice following the death of their kin under unclear circumstances 2 years ago. The body of retired Assistant Chief Charles Njenga was retrieved from a shallow seasonal river a few meters from his homestead on March 18, 2021 at around 11 a.m. His son Amos Ndwega said he was the last person to speak to his father at around 6 p.m. at Kiria Trading Center, only to learn of his disappearance the following morning as his wife Eunice Njenga went to serve him breakfast. The family disputed the post-mortem report that ruled the cause of his death to be drowning, saying the body had bruises on the face and his belly was flat, unlike in the case of drowning, where victims suffer swollen bellies as a result of intake of water.
Tarehe 18 mwezi wa 3 2021 baba yetu alipatikana na kifo chake, na tulikuwa na kakesi kidogo kashamba hapa tu karibu na mboma yetu. Kulikuwa na kamzozo kidogo tu, tukakesi na chief, DO, assistant chief na wazee wa area, na tukamaliza hiyo mzozo. Mavi kufika huko alienda akapata yule mzee alikuwa anafanya kazi kwa hiyo shamba, pia kuchunga mbuzi na ng'ombe. Na akapata mzee yuko pikipiki imepakiwa hapo. Akauliza huyo mzee alikuwa anaitwa Peter, mahali mzee yako, akamwambia yeye waliachana naye usiku, sijui wakiwa na kijana fulani mwenye alimleta. Alikuwa amemwendesha na pikipiki yake. Wakapaki wakatoka na yeye wakaenda sijui na hapa juu kukunywa karubu mratina, hivyo ndivyo tunaita huku kwetu. Na mwisho wake after kutoka kwa kukunywa akufika nyumbani. Pigiwa simu na wife ya bradangu akilia, akaniambia babangu amepatikana hapo Shakarungu na yuko uhai. Mwili ilikuwa na majeraha kwa uso na ingine ilikuwa kwa mguu, lakini hiyo ya mguu ilikuwa inaeleweka juu ilikuwa ya pikipiki. Chenye ningeomba ni serikali tusaidie kupata haki, tujue kifo cha baba yetu, na juu alikuwa mtu innocent, yani venye mimi nilikuwa namjua.
And we do hope that they will get justice indeed. Now, Benson Mutimba, who works as a Jua Kali artisan in Siaya, says Malindi controversial pastor Paul Mackenzie has been a source of pain to him and his family for the last 4 years. For 4 years, the father of 6 has been battling to save his family from the Malindi-based doomsday cult that at one point had taken 4 of his sons captive. To the 45-year-old Jua Kali man, the ongoing horror at SHAKAHOLA village in Malindi, where tens of bodies are being exhumed from graves and emaciated people being rescued from the yoke of Pastor Mackenzie, is an answer to prayers he had made to God to save innocent children and their parents from this strange hold of the cult. Mutimba, who hails from Mumias in Kakamega County, but a resident of Siaya, says that he cried to God when he lost one of his sons, a former captive of the pastor's teachings, who was rescued from the cult but continued suffering the effects until he lost his life at the Siaya County Referral Hospital in March this year. It dates back to 2019 when his eldest son, Felix Juma, then a student at Kibabi University, came back from school and began talking negatively about the education system as well as the jobs that his parents did. The same year, he convinced his 3 other brothers to join him, and they all traveled to the coastal town of Malindi.
Kazi ni ya shetani, biashara ni ya shetani, shule ni ya shetani. Ati mama acha hiyo kazi unafanya, dadi acha biashara unafanya. Pia watoto wetu hao wasiende shule, naonya na wakatazama umetolea mambo wapi? Ati mambo nimetolea Mombasa kwa kanisa ya Good News International Church, Paul Mackenzie. Nikamwambia mbona hii kitu nimekuonya na nimekukataza hii kitu, achana ni ya mashetani. Hii mambo umepata wapi? Ati kuna wenzangu hata kwa shuleni wameshaamua hawasomi, wamejiunga na mimi, tuko kitu kimoja, tunafuata mambo ya Mackenzie. Pastor mwenyewe akashika simu akaniambia mimi ndio Pastor Paul Mackenzie na mimi ndio niko na watoto wako 3 hapa wa primary, wako 3 na wa university mmoja. Nikamwambia nipe kila mtoto kwanza niongee na yeye ndio nijue ni ukweli. Akanipatia huyu hawa twins wawili wa class 7 hawa Brian Mtimba na Ian Mkungu, nikaongea nao Roy katulia. Tena akanipatia Victor Malechi, nikaongea naye Roy katulia. Na nilikuwa tayari nimeshaongea na huyo university. Sasa nikauliza huyo pastor, ni mbinu gani umetumia kunasa watoto wangu wakufikie penye wako hapo? Ulinipigia kwa simu kuniomba nikupewa watoto, ama nilizaa na hao watoto, ama niko na deni na wewe, ama kuna uhusiano gani niko nayo ndio umechukua watoto wangu? Na kaniambia sikia mzee, usikue mkali. Saa hii tuko kwa end message. Dunia inaenda na Yesu anarudi. Kwa hivyo ningependa kama unanisikia kama mimi mtumishi wa Mungu, wewe na mama mwenye mmebaki nyumbani na nimwambia kuna watoto wengine wadogo wawili, Christina Joshua, pandeni basi mkuje. Kama mnapenda watoto wenyu na mnataka muendelee kuishi nao, mkuje muamiti, muone, muongee nao, mshaongea nao, alafu ni mrudisi mrudi nao nyumbani kama mshapokea neno la Mungu. Nikamwambia sikia pastor, wewe unakaa kama criminal, ni kitu ya kwanza. Ya pili, wewe sina uhusiano na wewe, na wewe sio pastor wangu wa kanisa. Na hii mambo ya kusema dunia inaisha, hata sasa wangu wamekuweko, babu zangu wamekuweko, watu wamekuweko, sijasikia penye mahubiri kwa dunia inaisha. Kwa sababu tukisoma Biblia inasema hakuna mtu anajua ile siku yenye Yesu atarudi ama siku yenye dunia itaisha. Kwa hivyo tafadhali nirudishie watoto wangu vile umewachukua.
Moving on, Rift Valley region are the champions of primary schools athletics with historic overall point score of 511, beating Western region who came in second position with overall 315 points, and Nyanza region became third with 281 points in the games. At the same time, Central Region came fourth with 130 points, Coast Region fifth with 127 points, Eastern Region sixth with 104 points, followed by Nairobi with 23 points, and Northeastern Region came last with 15 points overall. Rift Valley Region's Emmanuel Kiprono from Elgeyo Marakwet strikes boys 5,000 meters and 1,500 meter races as National Primary School Athletics Games came to a close at William Olentimama Stadium yesterday. Now, across our borders, a former Sudanese politician, Ahmed Haroun, who is wanted for alleged crimes against humanity, says he and other former officials are no longer in jail following reports of a breakout. Haroun was among those being held in Koba prison in the capital Khartoum who are facing charges by the International Criminal Court, ICC. A ceasefire between fighting military factions largely appears to be holding, but there are doubts about both sides' commitment to a lasting peace. The United States and other countries moved to evacuate diplomats and citizens from Sudan over the weekend amidst fighting between rival military factions that killed at least 420 people and injured over 3,700 more in a crisis that began on April 15th when the Sudanese military and the paramilitary group known as the Radical Support Forces began exchanging fire in the capital Khartoum, further dashing their hopes of a return of civilian rule in the country.
These 10 days of violence and chaos are heartbreaking. A prolonged, full-scale war is unbearable to contemplate. Sudan borders 7 countries, all of which have either been involved in conflict or seen serious civil unrest over the past decade. It is a gateway to the Sahel, where insecurity and political instability are making an already catastrophic humanitarian situation even worse.
The two generals continue trading accusations and issuing competing claims of control over key installations. There is yet no unequivocal sign that either is ready to seriously negotiate, suggesting that both think that securing a military victory over the other is possible. This is a miscalculation.
This week on Testify.
It wasn't sweet at all. That was the moment also my mom knew she had cervical cancer. They had already screened her and she was really bleeding. I was confused. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry because I had a lot on my shoulder. I didn't know where to begin. So I just sent a message to each and everybody. She's gone.
Only on Hope TV. Look and live.
The presiding bishop, together with the entire leadership of Christ is the Answer Ministries, have the pleasure of inviting you to the Family Discipleship Conference 2023, themed The Choice, drawn from Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. We kick off the conference on Wednesday, the 3rd of May at 5:30 p.m. and Thursday, the 4th of May through to Saturday, the 6th of May at 9 a.m., with the climax zoomed in on our millennials and zennials on Saturday. Guest speakers will be Bishop Callisto Odede, the presiding bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Pastors Kingsley and Mildred Okonkwo, Dr. Wahomengare, and Dr. Stanley Mukolwe, among others. Guest artists will be Essence of Worship, Evelyn Wanjiro, Kestin Bogo, and Eric Smith. Register now for free at fdc.citam.org for a time to be equipped with biblical principles that make for thriving and well-informed life choices. See you there.
Welcome back. Now in business, Safaricom has launched My County, a platform that enables all 47 counties to digitize all their services in one place, providing a single citizen access channel. The platform will include payment for county services, revenue management systems, a citizen reporting and engagement tool, and solutions around agriculture, health, utility bills, and SME programs. Makueni becomes the first county to integrate to My County, with plans to gradually include all 47 counties in coming months. My County will be accessible through a USSD shortcode, Android and iPhone app for all counties, and a mini app on the M-Pesa Super App, which will offer county services and payments, including parking fees, single business permit fees, market cess, land rates, property rates, among others. Additionally, Makueni County will launch a citizen engagement channel and an online radio channels as part of its services.
We want to enable or partner with counties, to enable counties to connect with their own people and to serve the people. So it's about connecting people, connecting people to opportunity, and connecting people to knowledge. And you saw all elements of that today. The second thing is about partnership. Because it is, and you saw that between Elizabeth and George and Boniface, it's about two teams coming together in an agile way to fulfill a vision that you have for this county, but also which will extend to the 47 counties in Kenya.
This is an opportunity for wealth creation. It's not just a platform. Initially, it was just a platform for me on this platform to see what you are paying. Top priority. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an exciting time to be alive. As we launch this app, we stand at the cusp of a new era of possibilities, opportunities, and immense potential, where one can harness the power of technology to serve our people and bring tangible transformation to the lives of our people.
Now in sports, KCB FC assistant coach Godfrey Odor says the team will now shift focus to the upcoming Mozart Cup quarterfinals after their 1-0 defeat to defending champions Tusker in a league match played at the Ruaraka Stadium. Winger Michael Odor punished his former side with a curling effort in the second half that goalkeeper Brian Omondi could not save, despite the wet Ruaraka Stadium that made it difficult for the players to keep their footing. KCB was the better side in the first half, creating numerous chances but could not find the back of the net.
Of course, now we focus again on on the Mozart Cup. This is a cup, so it is a final for us. We anticipate to get a good performance out of it, and of course come out with victory for us to